time. These magazines wanna feature me, cause they know I'm on the rise. Get the attention, I'm on a mission. Cause ever since I flipped that switch, my power can't be denied. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. Pay attention, I'm on a mission. I'm there with a vision. Got a passion, making it happen. Ready for action. And this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. This is my world now. Hey! Here we go! We coming ready or not, you better steady yourself, because we're raising some hell. There's nothing keeping this roof from blowing off. We're taking over the town, hit the switch and shut it down. Like Indian, we're electric, never stop. We coming ready or not, we coming ready or not. We giving all that we got, we giving all that we got. We coming ready or not. We're throwing gas on the fire, the stratosphere getting high. We're trouble when we get crazy, we get wild. Got dynamite in our blood, get ready and buckle up. When we go big, we blow up in ferocious style. We coming ready or not, we coming ready or not. We giving all that we got, we giving all that we got. We'll never throw in that white towel. You're never knocking us
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming to you from the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway before the big boys and their bad super toys get ready for the Memorial Day Classic. That is the Coca-Cola 600 Memorial Day weekend. And listen, we were scheduled to be at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and we will be there next Wednesday night. However, we flip-flop things around, and we're ready to go at America's home for racing virtually, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. 150 miles, 100 laps. This is the equivalent of an ARCA race, if you will, in distance, and we're excited to bring it to you. Welcome to iRacing on LSRTV, simulcast on CRN, the Community Radio Network. I am Wesley Outland. Jason Rockefeller is alongside in the CLICKIT RV broadcast studio. In Texas is Charles Wooten pushing the buttons on the production. Jason, you love Charlotte. You got to love Charlotte. Mile and a half.
Yeah, I can't wait to see these guys put on a show here tonight. I will say, for the folks watching at home, the Xfinity Series cars to run here are such a blast. You really got to be on the edge of control practically. This track feels so fast, especially with the way that it's worn out nowadays. You know, for a mile and a half track, this track is very, very characteristics. Going into turn one, you're flying. You got to try to pin their car right down to that blue line and in a sense, harvick it is what the drivers say these days when you're just hugging that bottom lane with your left sides right on that white and blue line there on the inside of the racetrack. That's where the most grip is going to be. And then in 3 and 4, kind of an awkward kind of arc into the corner. This track has a lot of characteristics that many people don't really see. It's very difficult to drive. The tires get worn out very easily. And also, this track is a blast to drive.
Well, we're glad you're here with us. And again, as Jason mentioned, this is the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. These are the Xfinity cars here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And again, we're going to go 150 miles, 100 laps. And I got to think, Jason, if they're mimicking the daytime Xfinity race on Saturday afternoon, It's normally in the daytime. That means it'll be a daytime race, and obviously that's going to be a completely different characteristic. Chris White sideways off the back straightaway entering it. He'll save it. But yeah, no doubt about it, Jason. Daytime racing, totally different animal than what they'll be doing at night.
Yeah, and actually, I'm going to be at the Xfinity Series race next Saturday night. I can't wait. My first time going to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'll be going with my good buddy Kenny Brady. Seeing a lot of guys, seeing a lot of drivers who I know that are my friends and whatnot. I'll be going for the whole weekend. I can't wait to watch those Xfinity Series cars here. And that's the thing, Wesley. You talk about the daytime and everything like that. Totally different race. You know, night and day difference, quite literally. This track brings a lot of heat onto it. No shade around it. It can really have no grip, absolutely, like 100% at all. And you're just sliding the tires constantly. You're losing it off the corners. Cold tires mean everything here on the start of these races, and especially the restarts. I've seen plenty of times on iRacing where we're racing regardless, daytime, nighttime. Heading into turn one, I've seen guys completely lose it in the center of the corner, off the corner, just because of how cold the tires are. And then when these things get some heat in them, man, this track is a handful, and that's going to be how it is today if we're going to be racing in the daytime.
Yeah, this track is a mile and a half, 1.5 miles in length, or 7,920 feet. Front straightaway, the double dog leg is 1,980 feet. The back straightaway is exactly 1,500 feet. The straightaway and the turns now in turns 1 and 2 are 2,400 feet, 2,040 feet in turns 3 and 4. The radius from turns 1 to 2 is 685 feet, 3 to 4 is 625 feet, and the banking in the corners, 24 degrees in the turns, 5 degrees on the straightaways. And of course, yeah, this is going to be a fun race as Ritters scrapes the right rear off the wall in the Win Racing 23. We'll see where he ends up in qualifying as all these drivers getting ready to put that lap down. Best speed right now currently looks like it's Ryan Gormley, 30-39. 30-40 for Kevin Smith, 30-41 for Joshua Marcy, Sean Brightsman, and others getting ready to take time here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys, too, who are looking to have great nights. I mean, when you look at everything right now, the points are really, really tight right now. I mean, Seth Fraser's only got about a 5-point advantage right now over Devin West, and it's really tight back behind those guys. Only 12 guys making it into the playoffs. There's a few guys who are looking for a first win of the season. One in mind, Toby Ritters. He's been having such a great run recently, week in and week out, coming off an 8th place finish right there in qualifying. Tapped the wall coming off. He's currently 8th on the board. Sean Brightsman as well. I mean, he's been so strong all season as the points leader and whatnot. I mean, and him and Devin West are the only ones with 2 wins this season. So I expect Sean Brightsman to be really good. I don't think he liked his qualifying lap very much. That's why you saw him park it there on the entrance to turn number 3. But there's a lot of guys up at the front of the field right now who are the usual suspects, I would say, Wesley, when it comes to qualifying in the race time. Joshua Marcy, Kevin Smith, who finally had a good run last week coming home. I believe it was in the 4th position. So he's looking to have a good night, maybe to change that luck around and get a win here tonight. A lot of guys have a lot of opportunities tonight, Wesley.
And the funny thing is right now, only 9 cars have taken time on the clock here in qualifying. There is a whole plethora of drivers that have not went out on the mile and a half here at Charlotte Motor Speedway to try to put their lap down here. So right now we're watching Ryan Gormley right now, 30-39. Everyone else right now with 9 qualifiers. Kevin Smith, Joshua Marcy, Dan West Jr., Seth Fraser, top 5. Troy Daggett, Christopher White, Toby Ritters, and John Ottenbacher are the only 9 that have took time besides a whole bunch of others. And let's get some more updates from the pits. Our producer slash man in the pit area, Charles Wink, what you got for us? Good evening from Charlotte, buddy.
Well, y'all didn't see this, and so I apologize for the fans that didn't get to see it either. But we did just have a virtual thunderstorm roll over the track, and unfortunately the track is drenched. We can't race here, so we're going to have to jet dry it for a little bit, and then we're going to come back. That's also known as we're making a new lobby.
Well,
we got the
make
word.
a new lobby then.
Yes, new lobby is being made, so we will be getting into that here momentarily.
So we got to wonder whether was there some mistakes as far as in the formation of what it is they were going to do? Was there some hiccups there, Charles, that are making them have to change it around?
We
And does
don't
that
know for
explain
sure.
only 9 cars qualifying?
Yes, that explains it. Probably, I know they were talking about it being a little hotter than they expected from practice last night. Just maybe a slight boo-boo in the session. We don't know, but the reason, like I said, we were given was a virtual rainstorm came over and drenched the track, so we're getting the jet dryers out, and we're gonna dry the track off and try it again. That's what we were told.
All right, so everything resets and starts all over again. So obviously, Jason, we have a little downtime here, man. So obviously, let's kind of holler at the audience about the point standings and where things are. Obviously, as we move into round number 10 tonight. Remember, next week we'll be back at Worldwide Technology Raceway, where we were supposed to have been tonight. But coming off of round number 9 last Wednesday night at Darlington Raceway, Jason, Sean Brightsman is the man that's leading the points. There is right now 114 points separating first to 10th. And there are a lot of drivers that are literally right there neck and neck tied with each other in the point standings. This race can go either way or good or bad for any of these drivers. Right now, though, Sean Brightsman with a 25-point lead over the road course king of Paul Newton.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys right now here, Wesley, that are really looking to have great nights like we talked about. A lot of guys who are up inside that top 12. One guy, just because he's been showing up, is doing such a great job. That's Frank Harris. He is the guy who holds the top 10 spot. Obviously, 12 guys make it into the playoffs. But right when you get down to that 10 to 12, 10 to 17th place, all the way from Frank Harris in 10th all the way back to Chris Kynes, those points are pretty close. I mean, when you look at it, it's only about a 43-point difference right between all those guys grouped up together from Frank all the way down to Kynes there in 17th. So, I mean, with only a handful of races to go, this is 6 races before the playoffs begin, only 12 make it. I mean, these next 6 races can go either way for some of these guys. You can have a terrible race, or you can have a race where somehow, some way you win a race, or you just consistently rack up points and whatnot, like Sean Brightsman has done all season long. He obviously has had 2 wins, one back at Homestead. He won back at Mid-Ohio, both stellar, fantastic races. There's a lot of guys who have the potential. I look at the West family. They're doing so good here. They've been on a tear the last few weeks. They're sitting 13th and 14th, father and son right now. And Toby Ritter's right there in 16th. He's only trailing back by less than 30 points practically. So he's another guy who could try to make his way up into the top 12. This season is far from over with deciding the playoffs.
Yeah, and you just mentioned that, obviously, what Wesley, Jason, what are you talking about? 6 rounds in the playoff start? Well, here's the deal. We're kind of changing things up for a summer series. And obviously, you see the Northwest Super Late Model Dirt Series on Thursday night, bi-weekly now with the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying. Of course, tomorrow night will be the Northwest Dirt Series. And then, of course, next week we'll be here at Charlotte, the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying events. But we're taking a break, if you will, from I think it's June all the way until Labor Day. And we're going to have special races, Jason. We're going to have points races with different cars, but they're going to be on the dirt side of things. We're talking about running super late models. We're talking about running big block modifieds, open wheel modifieds, some, I believe, sports cars. So there's a lot of cool things that are in the horizon during the summer months on both Monday and Wednesday night, leading up to the continuation after the summer break when we come back for round 12. On Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, and that should be a fun time. I mean, that's what we like to do over here at LSRTV, is show a lot of, a variety of different series, variety of different cars. We've done everything from road to dirt to NASCAR. So many different things. And I mean, these Northwest guys, they want to try so much. They've been doing so much stuff with the dirt, the NASCAR side of things. And what better chance to, just go out there and have some fun, do a little bit of a break. Obviously, next week, May 24th, Worldwide Technology Raceway, or Gateway. That'll be the final race before that long break all the way to September 6th for Michigan. So it's going to be interesting to see what cars, what track combinations we obviously see. I guarantee you it's going to be a blast, and then these guys are going to be locked and loaded, ready to finish off the season come September 6th.
And by the way, guys, this is what I was told in regards to that virtual rain delay or having to reset the server, as Charles Wooten came on and mentioned a few moments ago. They were switching the servers. The Ford Mustangs were loaded with the New Hampshire fixed setup, while the Chevrolets and Toyotas had the correct fixed setups for Charlotte. So for that reason, they made the decision to reset everything and make sure all the surfers have the correct same setup. It didn't take very long. Obviously, you see them on track right now. They're all going to get probably a very limited warm-up session here, Jason Rockefeller, and then we'll go back into qualifying.
Well, that's interesting. We got a little bit of contact here going on in practice. John Ottenbacher, other guys involved. Man, these guys are going to have a lot of fun right here tonight, and I believe that's actually the 129 of Russ Lumberg. Him and Ottenbacher both have very, very similar race cars usually. I'm so used to Ottenbacher running that green car. But yeah, hey, everybody's human. We make mistakes. Sometimes I've had that happen in not series, but sometimes open races that I've run for fun with either my friends or people online. It happens, man. Sometimes, I mean, the way that iRacing is for the folks at home that don't have it, and obviously, Wesley, you say you've never tried iRacing. The way that iRacing works, when you're setting up, when you're setting up these sessions, there are so many settings that you could put on your race. What time of day you want? Hey, you want to go run Talladega in the middle of the night, pitch black with no lights, with an LMP2 car? Go right ahead. You could do that. You want to make it cloudy? You could do so much stuff. There are so many different settings. Yeah, want to make it foggy? You can make it foggy. It doesn't matter. There's so many different settings with iRacing.
Race in the wee hours of the morning?
Yeah, wee hours of the morning. Maybe catch a Talladega sunrise virtually if you can't be there. You know, there's so many different settings that you can have on iRacing. And unfortunately, sometimes you either miss it or there's hiccups. It happens. Sometimes there's glitches. It's all human nature and sometimes technology.
The Band-Aid machine throwback of Michael Waltrip, the 21 of the Northwest Truck Series champion of last year in his Ford. That's Tyler King. And right now, Dan West Jr. top of the board right now, 30-36. This is not qualifying. This is the practice session. They're giving about 2.5 minutes. By the way, speaking of that, bottom right of the monitor, the screen, Kaufman Creative weather conditions today at Charlotte, 73 degrees. Track temp at 78. Little wind speed blowing at 5 miles an hour. Just dropped down to 4. Partly cloudy conditions. Jason, I think every race broadcast we've done this year has had partly cloudy skies.
Yeah, well, honestly, Wesley, that's just because of the realistic and dynamic weather settings that you can have in iRacing. There's usually always a dynamic and realistic setting that you can have for these races. You can also set it to what the weather was. If they wanted to, they could set the weather to what it was 3 days ago. That's just how amazing and how awesome the technology is. I know that I believe Project Cars did that back on the console side of gaming, but I know iRacing has been doing it for a very, very long time. And I mean, it's just cool to see that you could just set the weather to either what it was 3 days ago or what it was today and the current time and whatnot. It's so interesting, but that's usually the dynamic weather forecast and realistic setting is usually around the 78 degree marker with 73 degrees of track temp, depending on where you're racing. So that's why you're usually seeing the partly cloudy skies most of the time we're in these sessions.
Well, everybody's happy with what they've got now, and they are working their way around the racetrack for this practice session. Again, it's about to wrap up in about less than a minute away from now. And the West family right now 1-2 in practice. Ironically, go figure, Ryan Bloom. There goes Jeff Stabnow, the Tiger colors on the 24. Digging that. It's got the stripes of like a tiger, okay? Bite me. How's that? Well, unless you want to say Jason Nightmare on Elm Street, you know.
Oh yeah, Freddy Krueger. Love me some Nightmare on Elm Street.
Welcome to my nightmare, Charlotte. Man.
Yeah, never do that again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or the Joker laugh.
The Joker laugh. All right, well, there's Stab now. There's Devin West. Somebody let the dogs out. And it looks like practice is about to wrap up here. We're about to start qualifying here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Let the dogs out. Let them in. Something. They're scratching your door, Jason.
Yeah, he's barking. I just took him out. Hopefully he'll quit barking here pretty soon. He hears everything. He wants in on this Northwest Racing Series. Maybe we should get Falcon behind a race car.
There you go. Falcon will be our broadcast mascot. Toyota Supra, number 35 from Tennessee, Joshua Marcy. The Boliff Toyota. He'll be the first man to try to come out here and qualify. Boliffy, I think I said Boliff. I'm sorry. Boliffy bowling jerseys. Boliffy. There you go. It's a bowling company, Jason. You like bowling?
Oh, yeah. I did 4 years of varsity, man. Went to states, almost won our state title for our division. I've been bowling for a long time, man. It's one of my – if there's one thing I love more than racing, well, probably not more than racing. Nothing's ever going to top racing in my family and whatnot. But, I mean, I love bowling so much. So it's really cool to see that on Joshua Marcy's car. Wow.
I mean, you know, bowling, I'm a pretty good bowler, but we never had a school competition bowling like that. Yeah, it's football country here in the Carolinas, too.
We didn't have a football team where I went to high school.
Are you serious?
My school went from 7th to 12th grade, and it was a regional school that was public. My graduating class had 40 kids, and there was only 400 kids total throughout the entire school from 7th to 12th grade.
Wow. It's crazy. Toby Ritter's on the speedway, the 23 CLICKIT RV Bomb Speed Win Racing entering Chevrolet Camaro. Oh, nice diamond off into the corner there. Went into 1 and 2. Yeah, something like that.
I'll tell you what, though, Wesley, Clifford's a guy I'm really looking forward to for the remainder of this season. I know I talk about him a lot, you know, on the broadcasts all the time, but really, I mean, genuinely, between Kevin Smith and him, Toby Ritters has improved such a tremendous amount from last season in the Northwest Truck Series to now this season running the Fixed Setup Series for CLICKIT RV. I mean, Toby has been doing such a great job. Top 10s, top 5s. I was just talking about it during pre-race right when we were changing sessions. I mean, the guy is almost in that top 12. You give him some good runs, have the guys who are on that playoff bubble have bad races or don't show up to collect points. Toby Ritters is in the mix, man. He has been coming in and week out, and he is ready to dig, and he is ready to play, and he's ready to play hard.
Yeah, I love that undying spirit that he has for sure. Just trying so hard to compete and do well and make his presence felt. You mentioned also Kevin Smith, the Win Racing teammate, also Ryan Bloom, the man that's leading the truck point standings. And there's Ryan Bloom on track now, driver the number 25. He's currently right now 7th, 87 back to Sean Brightsman. And there's another Team LSRTV teammate this year. Loving the Old Glory colors on the number 7 Chevrolet. That's Brett Johnson.
Yeah, Brett Johnson is one of those guys. I've actually raced with Brett. I think I've said this on a broadcast or two a couple times a few weeks ago. I actually raced with Brett in a series quite a couple of years ago, I believe, right when I was first on iRacing. I don't even know if Brett, and I'm pretty sure it was Brett. I don't know if Brett remembers me, but Brett was always a very dedicated teammate. And if there's one guy to have on your team, and even if, you know, maybe he might not bring as much insight or whatnot, but he is definitely a guy who can really, you know, have a shoulder to be leaned on and say, hey, man, you know, we can go out there, we'll do good. He's a great guy. He can come out here, have a lot of fun. And that's really all he's here to do, man. He's really just here to have fun. He's been showing up with some speed these last few weeks and whatnot. I mean, genuinely, he really is, too. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong for a lot of drivers, but Brett Johnson has been having that opposite here lately.
Getting ready to come down to the line, number 7, Brett Johnson. We'll see what he'll end up in the qualifying drive of things. that number 7 machine. Brett Johnson will end up 23rd. 30, 70, right now 30, 20, time to beat. Kevin Smith, by the way, Kevin Smith won the pole on Monday night at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And then Jason, the internet gremlins, got him again. Cross your legs, cross your eyes, cross your fingers. That does not happen to the Walla Walla Washington driver tonight for sure. 30-20 right now. He looks like he's going to lock up the pole again for this week.
Yeah, he is going to lock up the pole. He's been so fast here recently. Hopefully Kevin can change his luck around. He was fast last week. Maybe he can get a W here tonight.
We'll find out. Hey, they're lining up sideways. Cattywampus like the All-Star race. Don't forget the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro this Sunday night. Kevin Smith is on the pole. Ryan Bloom right there to the outside. Row 2, Devin West and Dan West Jr., the West family from Shelton, Washington. Row 3, Seth Frazier in the deuce and Paul Newton second of the points in the 27, ready to go for the Road Course King. Row 4, 2021 Northwest Cup champion Christopher White, Joshua Marcy in the 35. Top 10 in Charlotte, Troy Daggett. Best thing he's done this year was won the dash at Daytona, or a duel at Daytona. And Stephen O'Hare, the 41, looking to go back to victory lane as well.
Top 20 tonight, row 6, Jaden Ledbetter, your points leader and one of the all-time wins leaders this season, Sean Brightsman in the 46. Row 7, Ryan Gormley, who's been very, very fast this season, showing up big time in the Northwest Division, and Carl Burke in the 53. Row 8, Aaron Cooper, Bug Eyes, like you like to say, Wesley, and Tyler King, last year's Northwest Truck Series champion. Row number 9, Gary Nichols and LSRTV's own Jeff Stabnow, the 24. Round out the top 20, the legend Frank Harris and Clifford the Big Red Dog, Toby Ritters in the 23.
Row 11, Chris Kynes in that number 20 machine. Zach Rush to his outside. Row 12, we'll find Brett Johnson, the number 8. And another teammate for Team LSRTV, Billings, Montana, John Ottenbach. Row 13, Ron Hunter. There's big hair, Russ Lundberg, as you mentioned. 129. Row 14 in the back, Chad Mountain in the 08. So 27 drivers ready to go for 150 miles, 100 laps. This is the equivalent distance of an ARCA race. And bottom line, Jason, 100 laps might sound like a lot. Man, it'll fly by in a hurry. It'll fly by in a hurry.
Yeah, it definitely will. Yeah, it definitely will. I watched the ARCA race here last year, and man, that race felt like it went by in a matter of 2 seconds. These guys have got to get up and go. Track position means everything here tonight. You better be on your toes. You better be ready to pass. You better be ready to dig here in those virtual simulators right now.
Ready for that iRacing safety vehicle to pull down to the pit lane. It is. The field is making their way inside the Toyota restart box. Working off of turn 4, the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the air. Round 10, Northwest. CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series in Charlotte. You have a race. Inside lane pulls away. That is Kevin Smith on the jump, leading them off turn 2.
Yeah, they're all going to be single file all the way back right now to Seth Frazier and also Dan West Jr. They're side-by-side battling for position. That's for the 4th place spot. West outside, Frazier a little bit loose. Here comes Chris White trying to make something happen on the bottom as they work. Oh, and West up and into the wall. White saves it. He's able to brake check just a little bit. The field scrambles, but they're all saving it heading into 1.
Dan West Jr. up under the safer barrier, working through the dog leg. Somehow, no harm, no foul. Keeps on going. Got to wonder how much damage is on his car as Chris White slips, drops to the bottom. He's sideways. White falling back below the apron. We stay green as everybody bypasses him to 3. Understand
no
Troy
right.
Daggett also falling back. Big trouble there. Nichols also off the wall. A lot of cars, Jason, hitting the wall, opening couple of laps.
Yeah, 2 things. One thing I want to point out, talked about it in the pre-race, cold tires. You want to make sure you get those heat in those tires. These things are so loose when you're on presented with new Goodyear Eagles. I mean, these cars are such a handful to drive no matter what you drive. Trucks, Xfinity Cup, Next Gens, whatever they are. Cold tires. They are absolutely treacherous here in the early going. And I also want to see if we can get our Kaufman Creative weather conditions possibly, see how much the track temperature's at right now. Because if this thing is hot, which actually it's not even that hot, 77 degrees, only a few temperature difference right there, not that much here, Wesley. So really, this is just a product of cold tires here.
Understanding that Joshua Marcy with the fastest lap of the race so far in the opening handful, 30:49. He is currently in 5th. Kevin Smith the leader. Devin West to 2nd, Ryan Bloom 3rd, Seth Frazier in front of Marcy, as we mentioned. Ryan Gormley, there goes now Newton and Dan West Jr. side by side. Brightsman stabbed out, look onto the back straightaway as they go to 3.
Everybody, though, still single file right now. I tell you what, Dan West Jr., the 55, he slapped that wall. He's trying to get down as much as possible, but you just can't. You see Sean Brightsman lurking right back behind him. Jaden Ledbetter, that High Rock vodka machine, almost popped the wall going off turn number 4. There's a lot of guys who are just trying to get down to the bottom because tire conservation is key, making sure you can get your left sides right down on that line. And like I talked about in the pre-race show, harvicking is what the drivers in NASCAR call it these days, because there's nobody better at holding down that white line at the old Atlanta Motor Speedway and at Charlotte, quite like Kevin Harvick as we ride on board Jeff Stabnow with the LSRTV machine. Later on in those runs, though, Wesley, you can make that outside work. You might see that here when we get into a long tire run.
Yeah, right now, again, just kind of minding the P's and Q's, if you will, seeing how everybody negotiates around the virtual America's home for racing. Down the back straightaway, Brightsman and Dan West Jr. now in front of the machine we're riding on board with, and that is Curse, I believe, Carl Hurt. All this going on now. Stabnow, actually, my apologies. That's Jeff Stabnow. Back to the line, Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, and everybody right now, though, is just still
Burt's
getting
in the way. Burt's there. Come on in a black hood.
There's so many cars out here that look, hey, listen, to be fair, I was mistaken earlier with John Ottenbacher's car when it was really Russ Lundberg. So on Wesley's behalf, there are a lot of cars that can look the same out here. I mean, I have never seen two schemes in the Northwest Series that look so similar than what Ottenbacher's and Russ Lundberg's do here tonight. But everybody, though, side by side, oh my goodness, look at Dan West Jr. struggling right there in that 55 machine. Almost gets plowed into by Carl Burt, Chris White, and Tyler King, last year's truck champion. Aaron Cooper back there. Dan West Jr. cannot wait for that first caution, but he's got to be careful, Wesley, because he might just be that first yellow here as they work their way off forward.
We might be able to get Charles to leave his post and trying to grab an update with our team LSRTV and find out if something's going on with the 55 Camaro of Dan West Jr. You know, he bounced off the wall. He continues to rim ride up the top of the safer barrier. He about hooked it in the fence again a moment ago. Now he's under attack by Carl Burt. Chris White now back on the high horse, trying to get back to the front, along with Tyler King, Aaron Cooper. All of this going on. We got trouble. Cars are wrecking. Oh, no.
No way.
Kevin Smith, the gremlins of the internet, affect the pole driver again, Jason Rockefeller.
You know what? I didn't do it. He did it. I'm pointing the finger at Wesley. He's the one who mentioned it. I didn't mention anything. Blame Wesley Outland, not me.
That was encouragement.
Oh,
we got trouble back straight away. High Rock Vodka looking like a modified incoming traffic. Landon Huffman, the throwback car. That's Jaden Ledbetter, bottom of the racetrack, and caution will fly.
That is a hard hit.
We'll find out what happened. Newton Brightsman behind him. Stefano Harrop in front of him. Here you go. Paul Newton, second in the points, Jason. Down to the inside. Making a run on the High Rock Vodka throwback of the two-time Hickory Speedway late model stock champion, Landon Huffman. This is Jaden Ledbetter turn. Oh!
Wow.
Oh, man.
I honestly think Paul Newton just came up a little too much right there down the back straightaway. I mean, by the looks of it, I think he might have thought he was clear, maybe tried to side draft, but that's the thing though. The side draft doesn't really work all that much here, especially with how fast you're going and stuff like that. But I mean, he very well could have just tried to side draft him, and unfortunately, he just turned Jaden Ledbetter right there.
Yeah. One hit to the inside wall, as our colleague Charles in the production booth just said. It calls you to blow your engine right now. Devin West going to the lead. Well, it happened to Kevin Smith yet again. Internet gremlins hit the 00. At this point, Jason Rockefeller, I would be calling my internet provider, as I did the other day, as a matter of fact. That's what I would be doing if I was Kevin Smith, to find out WTH is going on every race night, Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah, and that's just unfortunate, too. It could just be his location, depending on, you know, wherever he is and whatnot. I mean, I personally never really had internet issues on my end. I had, what do I got? I got Xfinity internet, so it's pretty good for what it is. They're pretty much due for a new router here probably soon, anytime one of these days. But yeah, I mean, depending on location, how old something is possibly, I mean, there are a lot of factors. I know our producer Charles Wooten knows way more about this than the both of us. I mean, we just call race cars pretty much. He's the one who pushes all the buttons and knows all the technology and whatnot. But I mean, there's so many factors that go into somebody disconnecting from a service and whatnot. And I mean, just a heartbreaking scenario. I mean, that's like 2 or 3 times now this season we've seen Kevin Smith have a super fast car. Oh yeah, it's been way more than that. That just goes to show you how much I can't even recollect how many times, because it's happened so many times. Hopefully, you know, all those gremlins you talked about soon hopefully get away from Kevin Smith. And hopefully one of these days, I'm still waiting, man. I want to talk to Kevin in the booth. He's been so fast. It's just the internet, man. It's the internet.
Under the yellow flag, 13 of 100 laps in. First caution. Hey, by the way, all caution information brought to you by Brian Morehouse, Virginia, 811.com. Dig with care, call before you dig. Here tonight at Charlotte, 1 lead change. That's when Kevin Smith evaporated. Devin West takes the lead. 1 caution. Caution laps are 3. I mean, I didn't mean the word evaporated. Oh, wow. Hey, we're...
I wonder if he's got 2% or 1%.
Oh, Jesus. We're coming up on the top of the hour. I didn't mean evaporated. I'm sorry, man. I meant
old milk.
He got eliminated. He disappeared, okay? He went Casper on us. He ghosted us. We'll pause for 10 seconds of radio identification on the Community Radio Network, the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series from Charlotte. We're back in a moment.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Oh, wow. I meant to say that Kevin Smith is expired from the race after those technical gremlins. He ghosted us, Jason, okay? When did he go? Lights are off for the pace car. Leave me alone.
Evaporated, expired. I mean, what's next? It's out of code. He's out of code.
Listen, I was prepared for worldwide technology, okay, darn it. And then I find out we're going to Charlotte, so I had to change my entire preparation. It's Neapolitan.
Neapolitan ice cream.
All right, let's get you ready for the restart. Devin West, Ryan Bloom, row 1. Seth Frazier, Ryan Gormley, row 2. Marcy are top 5. Jason, obviously, we're seeing the West family showing dominance, especially by Devin West. Strong car, looking good for sure. Well, I guess we'll get ready for the restart. Jason, are you there, brother? Did you evaporate?
I am here. We're coming into the restart zone, man.
We are. We're coming back to the Toyota Geico restart zone. Pace car is in after the first caution. West and Bloom on the front row, ready to send it off on lap 15. Green flag back in the air here at Virtual Charlotte. Devin West through the gearboxes, down to the inside. Frazier powers his way by Gormley, going by Bloom. He's going to carry that momentum up the track into turn one.
And Frazier's looking to have a great night here tonight. Wesley talked about how he was one of those guys holding that 12th and final spot with just 6 races to go. Only has about 5 points over Devin West, who is the leader. So he wants to keep that gap the same. Devin West, though, second place last week, had one stolen away from him by Cole Raz, and then he's been so fast here recently. Devin West looking to try to put on a clinic here tonight at Charlotte, but not too fast, though. Ryan Bloom is chasing him right now as they work their way off, too.
That's Devin West, about 3 car lengths pulling away from Ryan Bloom. Ryan Bloom now back to second. Seth Frazier with a good run, sitting there in third. In the number 2 machine, O'Hare Gormley top 5. That's the way they stand as they work their way off turn 4, back to the double dog leg, to the start-finish line, and put lap number 16 on the board. The leaders will work their way with West as the leader back to 1.
Yeah, and Stephen O'Hare right now is trying to look to the inside of Seth Frazier. They were side by side for, we got a wreck on the front stretch.
Oh, Tyler King just missing it. That's Chris White, the 2020 Northwest Cup champion. He's got a problem on the back straightaway, and the caution will fly for the second time. The CWM Camaro down to the bottom of the apron. Oh, he punted the back of Paul Newton. Chris Kynes got into him. Oh, my goodness. This wreck went on for a while, Jason.
That wreck started all the way from turn 4. All the way from turns 3 and 4, all the way down the front straightaway into turn 1. We're looking right now at the number 20 machine of Chris Kynes, 17th in the points right now. Now we're taking a look at Paul Newton. We're gonna have to see what happened here. I mean, this is just interesting. Oh, Jeff Stabnow got tagged from the 35 of Marcy, and then it just created an accordion effect off 4.
My goodness, wow. Pit stops, lap 18. They're coming onto pit road, actually on lap 19 for service. Too early, Jason? What are you thinking?
Nah, definitely the right call. I mean, you're 20 laps in. I mean, we've had 2 early cautions, but I mean, still, it's better to just come in and use these tires. I mean, it's a 100-lap race. I mean, you know, looking at the way that this race has played out so far, already 2 cautions, I'm sure we're going to get a long green flag run, and I would not be surprised if it's to the end. You got to look at it like this. 100 laps. You talked about it in the pre-race with me, Wesley, right when they were gridding and going green. This is going to be a short race. It's going to feel long. 100 laps on a 1.5 mile track is super long. It's 150 miles, but this is like an ARCA race. It's the distance of an ARCA race. It's going to fly by. We're already almost a quarter of the way through this, one-fourth of the way through this race. So it's going to fly by. And, I mean, you better have your stuff dialed in, whatever you got going, because it's going to be a sprint to the finish, practically.
Race off pit road. Mixed in with a whole bunch of other cars is going to find Stephen O'Hare. Sean Brightsman, Dan West Jr. Remember, Dan had problems earlier in the race, and he's got to try to shake it off, if you will. Zach Rush, Troy Daggett now your new top 5. And I'm wondering, Jason, if all these other drivers behind Brett Johnson did not pit because Devin West will come out behind them.
Yeah, looking at everything right now, the only one who didn't pit, who's currently in the pits right now, is Zach Rush. Stephen O'Hare did stay out, but everybody else did come in and take tires and whatnot. So everybody's on pretty much the same set. Troy Daggett actually did not pit as well. He's currently in the 4th spot. So right now, O'Hare and Daggett are going to be the only ones who look to not have pitted, which is kind of odd. I wonder why Troy Daggett is being scored in the 4th spot, considering the fact he didn't pit. I don't know why he's not second. It could just be a scoring error maybe, or maybe that's just where he came out somehow. But, I mean, Stephen O'Hare and Troy Daggett, only ones who have not pitted so far.
Now, we've had 2 cautions in this race so far, the opening 20 laps of the event. 6 caution laps, 2 lead changes. Again, that's brought to you by Virginia811.com. Dig with care. Remember to call before you dig. Stephen O'Hare is now going to be showed in that Nicole Bryan photography, number 41, as the leader. Sean Brightsman right there behind him. So unofficially, once they get them re-racked and restacked here, they might be coming to the one to go this time by. That will be your front row. Tell you what, Jason, just not done yet, man. I mean, obviously a couple of cautions getting it started, but for the most part, the racing's been, it's been fantastic. I mean, just take your pick.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, by the looks of it, I think Devin West, obviously, so far from what we've seen, has been the best car. I mean, it's so early to really choose a favorite, but I mean, it's kind of hard not to choose Devin West. He's been having great restarts. I mean, this is going to be a really interesting restart with Stephen O'Hare being on that front row, and obviously Troy Daggett restarting pretty much diagonal from him on the outside of the second row, outside Dan West Jr., who is also a car who's got damage, but I believe Dan West Jr. may or may not have taken a fast repair, possibly. Going to be interesting to see once we see the right side of his car if he did take that fast repair, because if that damage is gone, he definitely took it. But, I mean, too early to really decide a really, big winner here tonight.
Sean Brightsman, again, going to power up on the outside to the bottom of the car of Stephen O'Hare. Dan West Jr., remember the problems he had on the start? Getting up in the fence, in the wall, still on the lead lap, and still in third. And Jason, I don't think he took a fast repair yet.
He might not have, but we're going to have to see here once you see that right side completely. But by the looks of it, I don't believe he did either.
Dan West Jr. did take a fast repair. Thank you for the clarification. We're back to green. Thank you, Charles. And we're back underway. So here's the deal. That's why he's back up fast in the top 5, Jason. But that's not good, taking a fast repair in the opening 20 laps.
Yeah, well, because then it provides him with trying to get wrecked another 80 laps worth of the time that they're going to be racing here. I mean, just the way this race is going, everybody is running all over the place, top, bottom, middle, apron if you really want it. I mean, grass like Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott back at the All-Star race years ago. This racetrack has just provided such good racing here tonight, despite the 2 cautions we've had. And that's really just because of the high horsepower, low downforce package that this series provides with the Xfinity Series car. And the fact that these guys run it, it's such an even playing field unless you have a lot of time in the sim with this car and on the track as well. So that's why you're seeing a lot of guys moving all over the place right now. And now that Dan West has had that fast repair, he could try to get away from all the controversy, all the wrecks and whatnot that might happen here later on in the stage of this race, and he can try to go for this win.
Going to have to be very careful, as we mentioned, in the 55, right now in the third, but definitely one of the best in the Northwest iRacing scene, the 2-time back-to-back Truck Series champion of 2020 and 2021. That is Dan West Jr. Look at Al Frazier. Trying to make some moves on Troy Daggett. Gormley on the bottom. Frazier will follow. Audenbacher trying to get up in line as there's some contact inside the top 10. They hold it together. We're 1/4 of the way through. 75 to go in Charlotte. They're into 1.
Yeah, Ryan Bloom, fastest lap of the race so far, 30.48 last time around, sitting in the 11th spot. By the way, Ryan Bloom, one of the fastest guys in practice between the 1 session earlier on and the 1 session once we had to restart it. Here he is right now, sitting 11th, fastest car out on the racetrack. You're seeing the guys, though, here, Wesley, who did not come to the pits once they had that opportunity. Troy Daggett, Stephen O'Hare dropping back. Stephen already just got passed by last year's truck champion, Tyler King. He drops back from 1st to 4th. Troy Daggett restarted 4th. He's all the way almost outside the top 10, sitting in 9th right now. So tires definitely a big, big factor, but definitely take note of this. If I were any of these guys here late in the run, if they get a caution with around 15 laps to go, maybe, or something like that, or maybe not 15, but like 5 or something, I think that you might stay out, depending on how much wear is on your tires. You might be able to hold it, because Stephen O'Hare held the lead for a couple laps or so. So if you do stay out later on this race, it could work out possibly, just not on the long run.
Newton, remember what we had, he about got caught up in that accident there with Chris Wine and company. They saved it together. And there you see him down on the inside, the 27 back, trying to get to the top 10. He's in the 11th spot. Daggett right behind him. Audenbacher, those drivers begin their ascent to run down Josh Marcy, who started this race up into the top 5, fell back on that first round of pit stops. Aaron Cooper, Jason, looking good in that 8th spot right now with the 71. You see the silver 71 down to the inside. Here goes Jaws after O'Hare.
Yeah, Jaws, Warthog, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's right there pretty much a throwback to the U.S. Air Force Warthogs, I believe it is, that they always ran that livery paint scheme on their planes. So I always love that thing. I know that the 43 team over at GMS, or now the Legacy Motor Club, as they like to call it, that's what they used to run all the time with the Air Force schemes. Whenever I think of that scheme and I see it, I think of Eric Jones. I just remember Eric Jones constantly running that scheme week out and week out. Absolutely love it. But here we are riding on the back of Seth Frazier right now. But Aaron Cooper, he is doing a great job tonight. He was solid in practice. Really only kind of showed up at Daytona. He's had a couple solid runs, so something always happened. But here he is, +8 from where he started, Wesley, and he's in 7th. And he's currently trying to chase down Ryan Gormley. He just got past the other Ryan. That's Ryan Bloom in the 25 machine, who's dropped 6 spots since the start of this race.
Yeah, watching all this going on. Down to the corner, Sean Brightsman again the leader. Dan West Jr. 2nd with the fast repair used. Tyler King 3rd, and here comes now a battle going on with Ryan Bloom. Ryan Bloom, Cooper battling 7th and 8th. And moment the battle as they work off of 2.
Yeah, and here comes Joshua Marcy coming to the inside of the racetrack on Aaron Cooper. Cooper drifts up to the outside of the racetrack, right up against the Toyota pit board signs, whatever you want to call it. He'll work his way back down, tuck and line behind Marcy. And now here comes Paul Newton, the road course king, sitting 2nd in the points, looking to have a great night here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. He's currently running down those 2 and almost gets to the back of Cooper, entering the center of 1 and 2.
Brightsman right now with West and West. They're 2nd and 3rd. King, Frazier, top 5. Marcy now trying to hold off Cooper up on the outside. Here comes Newton back down to the bottom. Working in to the trioval now. Down to the line. Look at how fast they're working into the corner. Down into 1 and 2. 16 to halfway. We told you this race was going to fly by. Had only a couple of cautions in the opening 20 laps, Jason. I think we're now in this stretch where we get this green flag run underway.
Yeah, hopefully we can. I mean, and if these guys, Seth Frazier drifts up way high, almost gets into the left rear quarter panel of Tyler King. Yeah, Ryan Gormley almost got caught up in it as well. This was very interesting. I really thought Seth Frazier was going to lose it. Tag not 1 but 2 cars there exiting turn number 4. But now you're starting to see, Wesley, you talk about that long run. This is when we're going to start to get it. Who is going to be able to conserve tires the most? Who's going to be able to run the bottom, middle, top, whatever it may be? Who has enough tires saved for these super long runs? Realistically, these guys are only going to have to pit probably 1 more time for the end of this race with how short the distance is. Obviously now, being on lap 35 out of 100, we are more than 1/4 of the way through this race. So this finish is going to come up quicker than you think. And Sean Brightsman, he's putting a whooping on the field right now. But Dan West Jr. and the Devin West, his son, they are catching them in a hurry right now. This is going to be the run that's going to separate the men from the boys here as they keep on going down the back straightaway and keep on running these laps with the consistent amount of tire wear going on.
And father-son right back to that number 2 and 3 spot right there. There you see him. The Shelton-Washington connection. West Racing entry. Look at now Frazier. Wow, almost 3 wide as Tyler King went up the block Frazier. Marcy hung out of the bottom. Bloom as well. Now they're going to go do-si-do 2 by 2 off the back straightaway. By the way, comments from Kevin Smith, the pole driver, from Monday and tonight in Charlotte. 3 wide contact, King and Frazier. Frazier, Marcy below the apron.
What a save.
Sideways, he saves it. Wow.
There was no way you were saving that.
Wow. Both of those cars. Frazier gave
both of
room
those
to
cars.
King. That was respect. Marcy, after contact, but getting down below the apron, got loose. You thought he was going to be a goner. He saves it. By the way, comments, I digress, in Kevin Smith. Absolutely heartbroken, Jason Rockefeller. Replaced so many components. We have chased down so many potential gremlins. Just heartbroken so fast. Wow.
Yeah, and that's really unfortunate. We obviously talked about it. Regardless of all jokes aside with Kevin, I mean, it really is heartbreaking to see him. I mean, owner of the primary title sponsor for the series, and obviously, if not the biggest sponsor of the series here in the Northwest with CLICKIT RV in his area, neck of the woods. You know, I mean, it's so upsetting the fact that the guy who owns the dang company can't even really run up front because there's just so many internet issues. It's so heartbreaking to see Kevin have all these issues week in. Oh, my goodness, what a hit.
Oh, Nichols. Gary Nichols upside down, end over end, now spinning like a top pirouette down to the bottom of the apron. And the caution is out. Nichols, Star Wars, may the 4th be with you on the 18th. Gary Nichols, look at this, Jason.
Yeah, we're going to have to take a look right here at the replay. I don't know, man. Maybe he got wrecked right here because he probably likes the sequels more than the originals and the prequels. We'll have to see. Going in the corner, gets into Aaron Cooper, up the racetrack. Oh, wow. Into.
Aaron Cooper retaliated and put Nichols in the fence. There's no other way to describe it. I want to go on board the 8. I want to go on board the 8. Can we get an extended replay? Maybe the 71 too. This is on board with the 8 of Nichols. No. This is on board with Cooper.
Yeah, I don't think he necessarily meant to wreck him. I think right there, when the 8 of Nichols got into his rear end, I think Aaron was just trying to save it. You could see Gary Nichols all over the back of him, gets into the corner. You see Cooper, he's trying to save it, and then he just gets, I don't know. That angle tells a different story.
It looks to me he turned into him right here. I mean, he gave him a bump. Cooper might got it frustrated. He turned right into right and turned Nichols in the fence.
That angle right there feels something different. That is, yikes.
I know it's iRacing. I know it's virtual cars, but I definitely sense that there was some frustration for sure from Aaron Cooper. Wow.
Yeah, and Aaron Cooper absolutely used the force right there to put Gary Nichols up in the wall right there. I think he thought he was Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back right there. Me being the Star Wars nerd I am, trying to make so many Star Wars references. All right, yeah. That's gonna be Wesley's new ringtone on my phone here, everybody. Whenever Wesley calls a group chat, I'm gonna personally make it the Imperial March, and then he's just gonna say, "Well, that sounds really evil," and I'm gonna tell him it is.
Hey, listen. My ex-wife for decades had that be her ringtone, so it's all good.
Wow.
She used to.
And 2 points to mention here under this caution as we work around lap 43 with Bloom in the lead. One, these are a group of guys where they're just out here to have fun. Yes, they're very competitive. They race really hard. They wreck. They get into it, and it's racing. You're a virtual race car driver. Some of these guys race as well in real life. But, you know, in all honesty, Wesley, we have not seen any sort of confrontation at all on the racetrack.
Not like that.
This season, or even last season when I started calling over here on LSRTV, I never really saw any incidents. But that right there, when I watched the initial replay with Aaron Cooper, I just thought, that's why I said, I don't know, Wesley, it looks like he just got loose. But then when we were inside the cockpit cam, again, not making any accusations, but I mean, just from the replay we were provided from the helmet cam, I mean, you saw, and so did I, so did Charles, that 71 turned hard right once he got off the apron there. And I mean, I know how a car can snap loose. I've done it myself plenty of times on iRacing. I mean, he had that thing saved, and the next thing just cut to the right. So I don't know if they're going to penalize him. We'll have to see. I'm sure they're going to talk to him at some point. I mean, maybe he just genuinely did get loose, but from what we saw up here in the broadcast booth, it definitely looked a little suspicious.
Yeah, I see some of the conversation in chat, and there's definitely some people saying that that was a hard right. And I mean, I like Aaron Cooper. I like all these guys. That, we call it like we see it in the booth, and hands down, it looked like he got frustrated. And let's be honest, Jason, what to go, lights off for the pace car. We're coming up on halfway. We're getting ready to go back to the green flag. Gary Nichols is one of those drivers that he normally doesn't do very well. He's one of the new up-and-coming drivers, getting his feet wet, if you will, trying to learn this series, learn this sport. And listen, there was a time that Aaron Cooper was at the bottom of the barrel scraping as well. And I just think sometimes, I think his frustration got the best of him.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. I mean, listen, I've been a part of racing incidents. I myself am a victim of people either raging on the racetrack on iRacing or myself. I mean, I've had moments inside the car in the virtual cockpit, I should say, where it just, your frustration boils over, man. I mean, you're only human. I mean, we all love Gary Nichols up here in the booth. We all love Aaron Cooper. Those are two respectable guys week in and week out. But there absolutely is just no place for that in the series, especially, you didn't just take out Nichols. I mean, you took out a couple of the cars. So they're probably going to talk to him more than likely. We'll have to see within the following week or two if there's going to be any penalties here. But we're getting ready to go back racing with Bloom and Frazier on the front row here. Should be exciting.
I will tell you right now, Gary Nichols and both Aaron Cooper are still on pit road. Green flag goes back in the air on lap number 43. 7 to halfway. Look at Stab now on the restart, trying to go after Frazier and Brightsman on the bottom, and he clears them out of 2.
Frazier's been ripping that top lane all night long, and Ryan Bloom, one of the fastest guys in practice, getting away from everybody. They're firing out 2, 3 wide down the back straightaway. Gormley look 3 wide back to 2. Now at Marcy, Devin West loose. So is his father. Zero loose. No way they both save it. Father and son, like father, like son. They save it off turn 4. That was super duper cool.
Devin West sideways through the diamond of the corner in 3 and 4. Apex of the corner sideways. Dirt tracks it. Saved. Dan West Jr. out of turn 4. Entering the double dog leg. Sideways to the apron. Saved. Wow. We stay green.
That was incredible. Like father, like son. Oh my goodness. I mean, they were both simultaneously sideways at the same time. I mean, what are the odds? That's funny at the same time. But in all honesty, those guys, they were absolutely digging inside those race cars, doing a great job doing it. Both father and son. Devin's out here. He's being super fast, trying to redeem himself from a second place at Darlington last week. He won the truck race last week at Darlington, and he has been super fast tonight, but now he's mired back in traffic, Wesley. This is the first time he's really had to pass anybody right here, and he's easily making it done on Seth Frazier in the 2. So we're going to have to see how Devin West, the youngster, how he makes his way up towards the front, and if he's going to burn up his tires here if we get a late run.
Trying somehow to make it work down to the bottom of the apron. Stab now with Devin West down to the inside. Ryan Gormley now riding up on the top shelf. Marcy is right there. Look at this gaggle of traffic going on behind the top 3. And Gormley now to the lead of the 22. This is all going on. I'm understanding the man just returned the fastest lap of the race just a moment ago.
Yeah, and Devin West ran a 30:44 fastest lap of the race, so I guess he's not listening to me up in here in the booth. He doesn't want to save his tires, man. He is digging inside his virtual cockpit. He's chasing after Ryan Bloom right now, looking inside the top 4, but he's got Joshua Marcy hot on his heels right here. West throws a little bit of a block, trying to arc the corner a little bit better than Marcy in the corner. Almost some contact there. They're going to rip the bottom of the racetrack, get past Bloom, and Devin West sets his sights on third place runner on the podium, Stephen O'Hare, as they work on to lap 49. And now 50.
By the way, 30-48 for Ryan Bloom as well as Ryan Gormley at one time. We're coming to the cross flags next time by. I know people have been asking you. We'll give you a full field rundown here in just a moment once things kind of settle down, if they will. Right now, Ryan Gormley, the man that leads the way. He is the driver of the number 22. We're looking if he can pull it off. His first win of the fixed series. He's got a truck win on Monday night, but not in the fixed series. This will be his second career Northwest win, his first career fixed setup win, if he pulls it off. We're halfway home, 50 down and 50 to go. Ryan Gormley is the leader. Sean Brightsman is second. Stephen O'Hare is third. Fourth is Devin West. Fifth, Joshua Marcy. The bottom five of the top 10, including Ryan Bloom, Paul Newton, Tyler King, Jeff Stabnow, and Toby Ritter's Jason on lap 51.
Yeah, they're all doing a great job right now. In 11th, you got Dan West Jr. after a heck of a save a handful of laps ago. 12th, Zach Rush. 13th, Brett Johnson. 14th, John Ottenbacher. 15th, Chris Kynes. 16th, the legend Frank Harris. 7th, Corey Daggett. 18th is Seth Frazier, who I was just about to point out is having massive trouble inside his virtual cockpit because he is only one stop on pit road so far compared to everybody else who's got two. And then Russ Lumberg, that's your top 20. And then other guys to note, Jade Ledbetter, 1 lap down in 21st. Carl Burke, 22nd, 2 laps down. Ron Hunter, 23rd. Aaron Cooper, 24th. Gary Nichols, 25th. Chad Malik, 26th. And Kevin Smith, the heartbreak continues. Might as well call him the heartbreak kid. Like I believe it was Shawn Michaels back in the day, if I'm correct. 27th right now.
And real quickly, Virginia 811 call before you dig summary of the first half of this race. And there it is, 3 cautions, caution laps totaling of 11 and 5 lead changes. There you go. There's your analysis of this race. Jason, what's your take, man? And obviously, I can't really say who's going to be the strong guy to win. We're not really seeing anything like that right now. Whoa, look at that West to the inside.
Yeah, we're not really seeing anything right now. And like I was just pointing out before here, Wesley, Devin West, first time he's really had to be mired back in traffic all race long, made up a few spots. 31.15 for him last time around. Wasn't the fastest out of the guys in front of him. Stephen O'Hare, 31.12. Sean Brightsman, 31.13. Leader, Ryan Gormley, 31.18. So a little bit slower. But Devin West is kind of just really settling in right now in fourth. So maybe he's not making up as much time as he is. But look at this in the back of the field. Big gaggle of trucks. Or trucks right there. Cars. I'm thinking to the Northwest Truck Series. That's Ryan Bloom all over the racetrack. They're 2 and 3 wide off turn number 4.
That's the equivalent of a storm brewing right there, as everybody just right there tit for tat going at it now. Stride for stride off into the corner. Up on the outside. Bloom at the bottom. To the inside is going to be Kynes. Chris Kynes, he's going to try to carry Rush with him. All of this going on. Daggett back in the battle. This is going to the top 15. Frank Harris, Jason playing possum right now, comfortably in 17th.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. Frank has been very, very quiet, really, all season long, making a few really, really strong runs. And right now, as the points are, Frank is actually in the playoffs currently, which is 6 races to go. Currently sitting 10th, 244 points collected over Devin West with 234, so he's only safe by 10 points. So, I mean, it's close, but still needs to have some good runs. Obviously, Devin having a great night. Dan West Jr. having a solid night. Jade Ledbetter, he's way in the back. Got wrecked earlier on. He's a lap down. Toby Ritter's having a great night. And Chris Kynes, he's currently running in 12th. That's the guys who are from 13th to 17th right now as they run in the point series here. But, I mean, there's a lot of guys out here who really have been fast here tonight. Ryan Gormley has surprised me, even though he's fast week in and week out. Sean Brightsman, no surprise, the Brightsman up in the 46 machine. He's currently second. Stephen O'Hare, usually third. He dropped way to the back earlier on last caution because he was only he had older tires than everybody else. And then Joshua Marcy, great recovery for him. There are a lot of guys out here who still could have great nights here as we're approaching lap 60.
Closing in on 40 to go, as Jason mentioned right now. Watching Ryan Gormley and Sean Breitzman now. 1 and 2 on the track. Breitzman trying to hold off O'Hare as well. There's 3 cars now. Throw a blanket over them. O'Hare to the outside. Give him room on the safer barrier out of 1 and 2. Breitzman to the bottom of their sideways. Squilling tires out of 2.
Everybody right now just fighting for every position, every point that matters. And while they're all side by side for 1, 2, and 3 positions right now, Devin West looking in the back right now, trying to see if he can get up to the podium. O'Hare loose, gets on the bottom of the racetrack, nearly clips the apron. But these guys are side by side, the 2 Toyota Supras and 1 Mustang. 1, 2, 3 right now. Breitzman, Gormley, side by side entering 1. Breitzman with the advantage heading into 2.
Breitzman trying to carry that lead to the inside. As we mentioned, he pulls up in front of that Supra of Ryan Gormley, the Ford Mustang now. A Chevrolet also in the dogfight, trying to run them top 3 down of Devin West. Marcy in the top 5. 40, under 40 laps to go now as the leaders work their way off of turn number 4. Here goes O'Hare. Makes a run on Gormley. Gormley shuts the door as they dive off into 1.
Gormley's going to try everything he did do, and what crossover move by Stephen O'Hare, went from the top, switched it, whatever you want to call it, down to the bottom of the racetrack, couldn't get it done, and now here we go. Devin West, he's trying to reel himself in a largemouth bass right now, and that would be Stephen O'Hare in front of him. I've been looking at the lap times the last couple laps here, Wesley. Devin West, much faster than these leaders besides Sean Breitzman, who's only about 1/100 of a second slower than him right now. So this is going to be the big factor at the line right now. Your leader, Sean Breitzman, 31.99. Devin West, 31.92. Fastest car out of those top 4 drivers. I think Devin West has something here if these guys continue to go green all the way to the end.
Yeah, by far best battle on the racetrack right now. Devin West, now O'Hare down to the inside. He punches it on Gormley. Gormley will battle back. They make contact. They drift up in top of the bank and out of 4. Somebody better give way. Now West says, I'll play wingman with Gormley. He'll go to the outside. He'll give a push to the 22. There's contact as they dive off into the corner. O'Hare back to the bottom.
O'Hare right now just trying to get the best arc he can. He's sideways up the racetrack, nearly pinches the 22 up and into the wall. Devin West in tow behind the 22 car, entering turns 3 and 4. The 41 trying the best he can do to dive it into the corner, throw a slider on the 22. He's going to barely clear him here off turn number 4. Gormley with a run, nearly makes contact with West through turn number 4, back to the tri-oval, lap 65 up on the board right now. Gormley back to 3rd, and West still trying to figure out how to pass these 2 cars out of 2.
Yeah, Gormley had a run trying to get something on O'Hare. Devin West went back down to the inside just like he's trying to set him up again. Down into turn number 3. He can't clear him. He'll stay to the outside. West is sideways again as he works off the corner. Working off turn 4. Gives a punt to Gormley's Toyota. The TRD got loose. He saves into the number 3 spot. West trying to get around these guys, and Breitzman's gone into 1.
Sean Breitzman loving what he's seeing behind him, but everybody now single file right now. Gap from Sean Breitzman to Devin West, a 2.5 seconds. If Devin West wants to try to get around Ryan Gormley, he's going to have to try to go to the outside or the middle lane because Ryan Gormley is not giving up the bottom. Runs a little bit higher in 3 and 4. That's going to open up the door for Devin West. Has a massive run out of turn number 4. The question is, what will West do with it? He'll go to the inside of the racetrack here. Lap 67 up on the board. Devin West finally moves into a podium spot. He'll slide in front of Gormley. He'll try the crossover. West up to 3rd out of 2.
Had to fight and claw for that position down to the inside, but he'll make it work. And now Devin West, tape on the front of the grill, now moves by Gormley. Gormley will fall back to 4th. Sean Breitzman, the leader. Stephen O'Hare to 2nd. Devin West to 3rd. Gormley is 4th. There's your top 4. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right there. And Marcy somehow, Jason, has found a way to get back in the battle. Johnson around King for 7th as they work in 8th spot off of 2.
Great night here tonight for Brett Johnson, up 15 spots from where he started. Biggest mover in the race besides John Ottenbacher. 2 spots. He's sitting just on the edge of the top 10 in P10 right now. But Brett Johnson from that LSRTV team doing a great job here tonight. Came into the series. He was kind of having a really rough stretch, rough beginning here in the Northwest Division. But here he is right now, getting a feel for it, understanding how these guys race, who's fast, who's not, who he knows he can pick off easily, who's going to give him room, who's not. Brett Johnson, great night here tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And that's what he needs right now as well, because not to mention, too, Brett Johnson, 8th in the points right now, having a little bit of a gap over Devin West. He's comfortable, but not too comfortable. He's looking to have a good night as well.
So it's Brightsman, the leader, followed by O'Hare, West, Gormley, Marcy, top 5. Here comes now Ryan Bloom with a big move on the inside of Chris Kynes. Trying to carry Ledbetter as well with him. Ledbetter, though, a lap down. If a caution was to come out, he would get the free pass. If 30 to go at Charlotte. We told you this race would fly by. 3 cautions, and it's been a long green flag run, Jason, as they're running into turn 3 to the final quarter of the finish.
It's been a long green flag run, but I tell you what, who for this long green flag run might not be all that well, Sean Brightsman. He loved what he was seeing out back behind him, but now that everybody's gotten single filed out, regardless of them racing so hard, Wesley, Stephen O'Hare, Devin West, Ryan Gormley, all of them only separated by just 0.02 of a second. So still faster than Sean Brightsman, and believe it or not, Sean Brightsman, slowest one out of those 4 guys. We'll have to see what the lap times are here this time around, Wes. Now we're at 40 to go, coming to 39. Sean Brightsman still slower than those 4 guys up at the top, almost slower by 3/hundredths of a second. And who's the fastest one out of those guys? Devin West, 32.21 here as they work in lap 72.
29 laps to go. There goes O'Hare. He's in second. Devin West right behind him as well, down to the outside. He is single file. Brightsman has opened up that lead of 1.3 seconds as they work their way into turn 1. Brightsman, O'Hare, West, Gormley, Marcy will go side by side. The finish from Charlotte. When we return, you won't miss anything. We're back in a moment.
At CLICKIT RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Ready to settle it in at Charlotte under 25 laps to go. Jason Rockefeller, I'm Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten on our production. The battle for second going on between Devin West and O'Hare into one.
Going on right now for sure, and Devin West can smell the lead, and he's trying to put an end to Stephen O'Hare's second place run. Last time around, 32.28 for West. Wrightsman, 32.35. Devin West, fastest car on the racetrack in the top three right now, trying to work his way around O'Hare. He'll easily get by him as O'Hare got really tight off turn number 4. Now West, with O'Hare in the mirror, can set his sights on Sean Wrightsman and try to run him down for a win here tonight at Charlotte.
Jason, I got to be thinking here, buddy, that obviously green flag pit stops on the way. What are you thinking? Or are they going to go to the finish?
Man. I honestly think that they can go to the finish. I mean, they pitted on lap 41 here, looking at all the leaderboards. One guy who definitely can't make it to the finish right now is going to be Ryan Bloom. He's going to have to pit. Last pit at lap 40, or lap 19. Seth Frazier as well. Those two guys who were strong earlier on, ripping the top, ripping the bottom, whatever way they were going, they were all the way back there right now, last pitting on lap 19. So right now, I don't think you're going to have to pit with these guys pitting on lap 41. You got what you got right now, and coming to 20 laps to go. You better get up on the horse right now. That saddle is Marcy, and Gormley almost make contact into turn number 3. But you got what you got right now, man. It's all lights out here to the finish.
Now, as they cross the line for 20 laps to go here, lap 80 on the scoreboard pylon. If, Jason, we get that 4th caution, the LRC, the late race caution, will that open up people to come down to the pit lane, or is track position that important instead of taking on new tires?
I think it's important, yes, but no, you definitely have to come into the pits. I mean, since you pitted, I mean, if we were to get a caution right now, you're seeing Seth Frazier finally has to come to the pits. So this is a great thing for him, even though he's 1 lap down. I mean, a caution comes out, if he could work his way back up, you never know. But he's probably done for the night with trying to get a top 5, top 10 run there to win. But, I mean, if these guys pitted on lap 41 and they're going to all the way to under 20 laps to go, you got to pit, man. I mean, you got to pit. With an 100-lap race, pitting on lap 41. No doubt about it. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys try to take 2 tires, maybe some gambling. I mean, there's always room for that. But, I mean, with the way that the tires... Oh, Marcy up and into the wall off turn number 4, pops it, he saves it. I think Marcy's going to be looking to get some tires here. That might bring out a yellow hair if he pops the wall one more time and goes around.
Joshua Marcy up in the fence, entering the dog leg out of 4. He saves it, losing momentum. He'll fall back behind Gormley, and Gormley now 4 seconds to Sean Wrightsman. Now, Jason, we know the gambler. That's Sean Wrightsman. If there's one man we know that will roll the dice and stay out, it will be the 46, as Johnson and Newton battle now for 7th and 8th. That's continued to go on excessively through this opening green flag stage.
Yeah, Brett Johnson has been so good. We talked about him just briefly earlier, but I mean, what a run for the Brett Johnson. I mean, plus 16 from where he started is just super impressive, especially for a guy who's pretty much new to this series. I mean, that's just a stellar job. And John Nonbacher as well. Haven't really seen him much besides Daytona this year and a little bit of Atlanta. Here he is, 9th right now, plus 15 from where he started. So both the 7 and the 89, great nights here tonight. But I tell you what, who's going to have an even better night possibly here if this race goes green to the end? That guy Devin West, like we've been talking about all night long. He is almost an entire 10th faster than Sean Wrightsman. And the gap, almost below a second. 1.15, 16, flirting between those two numbers right now. Devin West, Wesley, I think if this race goes green in the end, I think he's going to have stuff for Sean Wrightsman, and I think he gets around him.
Coming to the line, 15 laps to go. Sean Wrightsman out in front. Devin West, his teammate, by the way, trying to cut that interval within a second. There's Daddy Dan West Jr. in 5th, just got around Marcy. That Chevrolet sets his sights now on the Toyota Supra of Ryan Gormley, who's in 4th. All this going on now as they work into 3 and 4. 15, now make it 14 to go at the line. and Gormley just bounced off the concrete here off of turn 4. He'll save it, but he loses momentum, ready to jump at the bits, the double nickel into 2.
Yeah, Dan West Jr., what a rebound for him after slapping the wall hard earlier on, then having a tremendous save, both him and his son Devin. And here they are, find themselves inside the top 5. They could have had race-ending runs, even though they were given a fast repair. But if that would have been a wreck for Dan West Jr., remember, Wesley, he wouldn't have had a fast repair. He already used that earlier on in the race. But here he is. What a rebound for him. We knew the West boys were going to be really fast tonight, both father and son. They dominated the truck race just a week ago at, almost said Dover, at Darlington. They were super fast last week at Darlington. In the fixed series, obviously Devin West went from winning the truck race on Monday to second against Cole Raz on Wednesday. Here he is tonight, possibly going to get second, but maybe not. Guess what? The gap under 3/4 of a second right now. Devin West, 0.66 seconds back to Sean Brightsman. He is chopping at the bit, and he is getting his way up into the lead right now.
Yeah, I think Devin West has hit the go button. He knows it's time to put that car in stealth mode as Dan West Jr., Danny West on the inside of Ryan Gormley, battling for the number 3 and 4 positions on track now. O'Hare up in front of them. Frazier clears in front of them. And Gormley and Dan West Jr. now contend off the corner, trying to go for the crossover sweep to the bottom. 11 laps to go now here at Charlotte. Gormley powers back to the inside of Dan West Jr. That's going on is also Devin West starting to reel in Brightsman for the lead out of turn number 2.
Yeah, and right there off turn number 4, Dan West Jr., he threw a slider on Ryan Gormley, had to back up his exit a little bit. Gormley had to. Tried the crossover, nearly completed it down into 1, falls back. And now look at this. Brett Johnson, who's been so fast here tonight, he's not even the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Or actually, looking at the stat, yeah, no, he's not the fastest car on the racetrack. But, I mean, he has been so stellar here tonight. Whatever Brett did during the week from Darlington to now, it has paid off because he could possibly get a 2-for-1 special here and go from 6th all the way to 4th. And it's looking like that number 7 LSRTV Chevrolet Camaro might just do it because he is lurking on Ryan Gormley and he is lurking on Dan West Jr. here, heading to just less than 10 laps to go as he works his way out of 4th. And here he comes inside of Gormley. But here we go, Wesley. Battle for the lead.
9.
It's time to go, baby. Devin West has caught Sean Brightsman out of 2.
9 laps to go. We're in single digits now, and down the back straightaway, the battle goes on. Seth Frazier, by the way, 2 laps down, trying to fight on the outside with the leaders. Powers by them. That's why he's got fresher tires, and he moves to 1 lap down. Meanwhile, Brightsman with a lap car as a pick, using his Devin West down to the inside. He's reeled him in, cut the interval to 1/100th of a second. He tries to cut it back to 1/4 as they work their way out of 2 and 8 to go.
Brightsman gets a little bit tight there off turn number 2. You saw West try to go from the top down to the middle, down to the bottom, diamonding the corner. And now here's the trickiest part of the racetrack where everybody tries to get down the bottom, but just can't. West gets to the bottom a little bit better there than Brightsman as they work their way off turn number 4. Folks, this is getting good. Grab your popcorn, grab an ice-cold Coke Zero Sugar, official soft drink of eNASCAR, as Terry Radford would say. This is going to be a great show for the Northwest boys here for the CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. And Devin West, he could smell it. He could smell the victory. He could smell the champagne. Everything about this win right now, he sees it in front of him after a second-place finish last week at Darlington. And it's only a car length ahead of them. And right now, the 20, Chris Kynes, I believe that is, up and into the wall there in the 3 and 4. But they're still battling for the lead here, 6 laps to go.
6 remaining, back to 1. Brightsman down to the bottom. Devin West, 2 car lengths, now losing ground. Brightsman might have been saving something. He's opened it up to about a quarter distance. West trying to come after him again into turn number 3. They're going to be seeing 5 to go. A handful of laps remain off turn number 4. This is for the win.
5 to go, up in the air from the virtual flagman called Barney, and that number 5 machine likes the chances that he has right now presented with them. That time by the line, 32.47 for Brightsman, 32.59 for West. Both of them pretty even off turn number 2. West a little bit higher than usual. Brightsman, you're right, Wesley probably saved a little bit. I think if Devin West is going to want to pass him, he's going to have to try to work something to the outside because Sean Brightsman has not left the bottom. Oh my goodness, yellow is out.
Wow! This changes everything. Caution with 5 to go, 4 to go now at Charlotte.
Oh my gosh.
Was it O'Hare or was it Rush? We'll find out. It might have been both. Wow, my.
This changes everything.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Look at O'Hare diving inside. Oh my goodness, man, what the
41 lost
what in the world?
The 82 was coming out of 2, Wesley. He got really loose. The 41 saw the 82 drifting up, tried to kind of cross him over, and by doing that, just because of the worn tires, Stephen O'Hare, man, that is not a mistake you see the 41 machine make a lot of the time. Got loose trying to check up and go to the inside, kind of overcorrected, and unfortunately catches himself and also the 82 of Zach Rush.
Everybody coming down pit road. I said place your bets when it happened, Jason, and here comes the entire cavalry.
Money stop right here, baby. This is what you got to do.
Oh, yeah. Hands down. No choice. You've been under green for what, 60 laps? 50 laps? You've got to pit. You've got to pit.
Oh. And the 46 beats
Race
the
off
5
pit
out
road.
right there.
2 tire stops for Brightsman and West is what we're being told in our radios.
Wow.
My.
And how is
Ludwig, you
Stephen
said
O'Hare
it perfectly.
third?
This is where the virtual crew chiefs earn their money right here. You're exactly right. Now,
And
Jason.
Wesley, third is
And now
Stephen O'Hare.
Jason.
Look at this.
Right, exactly. And I asked this question. Was 2 tires enough? And will they be bypassed quickly with 4 tires faster than 2?
Yes, I think so. I think Sean Brightsman and Devin West both just lost this race going with 2 tires. I absolutely think so, 100%. And the reason being is because of how cold the right sides are going to be and how unbalanced it's going to be compared to the heat cycle on the left tires. You're going to see some wheel spin in this restart, I think, for both the 5 and the 46 possibly, and they might get blown by. And Daddy Dan West Jr. right there, he's only a couple positions behind his son, Devin West. He's looking to try to sneak up there, get a win. Stephen O'Hare involved in a wreck, and it might just end up being his best friend right here. I believe he took his fast repair while being in the pits, but because of the timing of caution and how he caught up to the field, he's going to be in third. So I don't know who to put my money on, but right now it's looking like I think Dan West Jr. is going to have something.
We'll settle it all for you here in just a moment, as all of this is about to transpire in the first segment of overtime. We're also coming up on the top of the hour. We'll pause for 10 seconds of radio identification and take you to the finish. Overtime next at Charlotte. This is CRN, the Community Radio Network.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Welcome back to coverage of iRacing on LSRTV as well as on the CRN Community Radio Network. Round 10 from Charlotte, the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed iRacing Series. I'm Wesley Outland, Jason Rockefeller alongside. On behalf of Rocket Racing Media and Charles Wooten, we're ready to bring this into an overhaul. Caution, 4 laps to go. Everybody pits. Some take on 2 tires to advance position, other ones with 4. You got actually drivers that are going to take the wave around. And Jason, we also set up the first of 3 attempts, if necessary, of overtime.
Yeah, this is going to be super interesting. And look at this right now. I haven't really seen the 5 doing as much. But the 46 of Sean Brightsman, I think he knows, and I think he's probably got somebody tuning into the broadcast and whatnot. I think he knows that he's a little bit in trouble, knowing that the guys behind him and Devin West are all on 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, and he knows that 55 and 41 are going to be coming in a hurry here. And also Brett Johnson, he's provided he could get his first win in the Northwest. This could be an absolute barn burner for him. There's so many guys up the front of this field who have a chance if everything goes south. But Sean Brightsman keeps on, like I said, going side to side, trying to put heat in those right sides and keep the heat in the lefts. This right here is going to be a restart that could possibly make or break your season.
Jason, one thing I do see, though, you've got Team LSRTV, 4 in the top 6 positions. Do they try to work together? Do they try?
All bets are off.
All bets are off. You're on your own. All right, well, let's see what happens. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The first attempt at overtime. Leader's got to take the white flag. If not, we'll re-rack them, restack them for a second time, and even a third time. If they take the white, they're going to race to the finish. Green flag. Brightsman on the gas. Spinning the tires is Devin West. Everyone else runs him down. O'Hare, clear a path. He's on the bottom of Brightsman into 1.
This is perfect scenario here for Stephen O'Hare. He's going to have the run. You see the 5, how loose he is on those cold tires. Brightsman loose. Here goes. Oh, we have a yellow out on the racetrack. This is huge.
I believe. Oh, my goodness. I think it's Ritter's. It is. It's Ritter's. Toby Ritter's. The CLICKIT RV Bomb Speed 23 for Win Racing. Here's a look at the restart. He's behind Daggett, inside his white. Harrison Stab now in front of him. They'll send it off into turn number 1. And there you see, just got boxed in, nowhere to go. Aggressiveness at its finest, and he just got clipped. Harrison Stab now went bonsai on both ends and hooked at 23. Just a racing deal in the corner there, Jason.
Yeah, just everybody getting stacked up in the corner. Cold tires, obviously, I talked about it and really didn't think it was going to be too much of a factor here tonight. And wow, boy, oh boy, was I wrong. I thought it was going to be a problem, but not this big. It has been a big deal here tonight on these restarts. I mean, if that caution want to come out here, as you look at the Virginia811.com call before you dig caution summary here, 16 caution laps, 5 total cautions, 6 lead changes. Man, the cold tires here tonight have been such a big factor, and they're going to be a factor here on this restart. That's why you're seeing all of these guys trying to swerve side to side. I tell you what, if there's one guy out here right now, if he was racing virtually, he wouldn't be doing that. That's Kimi Räikkönen in Formula One. He said that swerving back and forth does not do anything. That's why if for all the Formula One folks, you would never see Kimi Räikkönen swerving left and right trying to put heat in the tires because he said it didn't do anything. But these guys are thinking the exact opposite here tonight. You saw the 46, the 5. They were super loose off to.
Jason, let me.
Fuel?
Is the 46 in trouble? Is he out of fuel? He's not. Oh no!
No, he ain't out of fuel. I don't know.
I hope he's not out of fuel. I think he's just trying to drop below the apron to clean the tires off. So here's the deal in regards to Kimi Räikkönen that I was going to say, Jason. Formula One, they're on different tires, and obviously the bias ply Cup tires, Xfinity truck tires are. I get that. Some are on the radials because obviously sometimes they're running on the road courses, running in the rain. So I can understand by veering back and forth, Formula One tires, you're not really going to clean them off. But when you got slicks on, bias ply tires, if you will, like the Goodyear Eagles, and you're veering back and you can literally see the rubber being of the tires whenever you're veering off left and right, for sure. I mean, I have to say that. I've seen it before.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I do believe sometimes. It's just funny. Some guys think, obviously, you come from different parts of the world. Obviously, different tires. Obviously, they run, I believe, Pirellis. I'm not the biggest F1 fan. I believe it's Pirelli tires, if I am correct. But obviously, those are a much wider tire. They have way different tire compounds. You have soft, medium, hards, intermediates, or whatever they call it. And then you obviously have your wets. So, I mean, those tires are much bigger, much wider, have a lot more air than you would say with these tires, because obviously you can mess around with these tires so much, Wesley. You could put low air, high air, medium air, whatever you want in these things, And that's why you see guys, they try to build the pressures up when the tire pressures are low. Put heat in them. You put heat in them, the tire pressures go up. That's why you're seeing a lot of these guys like Sean Brightsman, Devin West, swerving side to side because it creates heat in that tires to build those pressures so they don't create restarts that wreak havoc and create tire spin like you saw right there in the restart zone last time.
And by the way, French tires for Formula One are Pirelli tires as well. Yeah, no, they are the Pirelli tires. You're right. By the way, we're 103 laps. 103 laps into this race, okay? We passed the scheduled distance. Second attempt at overtime. Jason, I will say this. If we get another caution, remember what we said, you go to that third attempt to get another. Sean Brightsman wants another caution on the restart. And here's why. Because if he can play this strategy, Jason, 2 more times, game over, he wins.
Yeah, and that's absolutely right, because with the third attempt, it works just like the old 3-attempt rule when NASCAR used to run the green-white checkered attempts. Once the caution comes out, it's the same thing in iRacing. Caution comes out, once you're on that third attempt, race is over, man. It's over. It's done. Right. iRacing detects a caution, race is over. You pace around under pace speed, yellow flag, checkered flag waves at the same time. Sean Brightsman could be a winner here tonight just by taking those 2 tires and then obviously coming into the pits, taking the 2 tires and staying out if he just keep getting this yellow. But Stephen O'Hare, he's going to be in the really, really big catbird seat here on this restart, being the first one on 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles and also being on the outside having clean air in front of him.
By the way, mad props got to be going out real quickly to Ryan Gormley, 4th. Obviously, Brett Johnson up 18, 19 spots in 5th. John Audenbacher, what a run for him as well in the 89. Joshua Marcy, what a dig back as well. All these guys. Troy Daggett looking at a top 10 if he can hold on. So, second attempt, 3 miles remaining. Green-white checker. Caution is displayed. Field is frozen. We'll re-rack, restack for one more time. Remember, if they come to the white, a white flag, next flag ends the race, which ultimately means they're going to race back to the checkered flag. If not, third attempt and the final time underway. Take 2, overtime, round 10, Charlotte. Pick your poison. Here they come to the line. Sean Brightsman needs another great restart. Last time, Devin West was on the outside. This time, he's right behind him. That's his teammate. He powers along with O'Hare, Gormley, Audenbacher. They'll send her off into turn 1.
O'Hare's going to have that clean air taking the outside lane, but and Devin West slides up. He gets into O'Hare. They're sideways. Going to be a massive pile up down the backstretch.
O'Hare into the machine. Devin West into O'Hare. O'Hare into Audenbacher. Audenbacher airborne. Comes down to a rest, and the caution is out for the second time. It was a storm brewing. You knew it was going to have to settle one way or the other, Jason. And it all broke loose in turn number 2, my friend.
Yeah, you saw right there on the inside, Devin West being on those 2 tires that are cold and a little bit warm with the less. You'll see right here, gets on the apron, a little bit loose, just too much throttle, gets up into it, nice save, but unfortunately just slides into the 41, tries to correct it. Audenbacher, huge impact into the outside safer barrier, collects other cars. Toby Ritters barely gets through there. Jaden Ledbetter collected in yet again another wreck today on the backstretch. And
let's go extended and ride with Audenbacher. Let's see how this is going to be on board with the 89 of the Billings, Montana driver. And dang it, I jinxed it, Jason. I was talking about just what a great job John Audenbacher was doing. Calamity now in the second overtime attempt. This is on board with the 89. Watch him dive in the corner like Jason told you. Now take a listen. Just listen. Oh, dang it, Frazier. Oh, my. Jason, I have said this time and time again. You see some vicious shots and hits in iRacing. The good news is you just got to hit that escape button.
Yeah, you just got to hit that escape button or hit your toe button on your wheel if you have it set.
And thankfully, none of these wrecks obviously are with real race cars, or else we'd be tearing up millions of dollars worth of equipment.
That's right.
And having a lot
That's
of angry team owners and obviously drivers getting hurt. But thankfully, this is the platform we're given where we can have fun and have these massive, silly wrecks like that. But I tell you what, on a real note, though, what a heartbreaker for John Ottenbacher. Up so many positions tonight, like you said, Wesley. And also, we keep talking about the points. John Ottenbacher, 9th in the points coming into this. 258 points to Seth Frazier's 239, who's just above the cut line. This is going to hurt John Ottenbacher's chances here, trying to make the playoffs possibly. We'll have to see where that shuffles out come next week.
So guess what happens now? Third and final attempt at overtime. And Jason, if I remember correctly, and I think I am, there were 3 attempts at overtime on Monday night at Worldwide Technology Raceway in the truck race. So this is now the second race in this week where we've had to go into 3 overtimes to decide the winner. Wow.
Yeah, man, I hopefully we can get a good finish. And now that Stephen O'Hare is completely pretty much out of the picture, I think Ryan Gormley has got something, man. I think now that he's got the outside, he's been aggressive. He's Wesley's protege. I don't care what anybody says. We keep talking about him all season. Wesley loves him. I love Toby Ritters. And obviously you got Wesley. He's got 22 gear on with the Toyota Supra logo.
I love Toby Ritters, okay? I like Toby Ritters.
No, we know you love Toby Ritters. Just you've been loving Ryan Gormley this season. But hey, man, listen, props to you because you've been talking about him all season long. And yeah, he's talented, new onto the scene in the Northwest Series. And here he is, has a chance to get, I believe, which would be, if I'm correct, the second win of the season. So this could be a huge moment for Ryan.
He has a win in the trucks. He has a win in the truck series, but not in the fixed setup series. So
this could be a big opportunity for him. And right now, looking at the point standings, Ryan Gormley comfortable right now, 271 points to Seth Frazier's 239. So 6th right now in the points. But with that being said, I mean, can you imagine the amount of points he'd be able to gain on those leaders for the regular season title, but also just to keep himself in a comfortable position to relax for these next 5 races? It would be awesome.
That's right.
And he's the first one on 4 fresh tires. Brightsman's been struggling off the corners these last 2 restarts. This could be a huge moment for Ryan Gormley. Oh, and don't mention the fact that Brett Johnson's going to be lining up 4th on this restart, and he's been one of the fastest cars all night long.
And that was something I was going to say, but you got to remember, those are teammates that are going to be one behind the other when we come bace to 1 to go. The lights off on the pace. And here we go. You see them right now assembling. Sean Brightsman on the inside. Devin Johnson, okay, he'll go to the outside instead. I thought maybe he would take the bottom. Look at Jeff Stab now, Jason. He's up in this gunfight now. But here's the deal. Sean Brightsman, I'm telling you, he's going to have to be aggressive. He's going to have to battle back. And I got a feeling we're going to see a caution. He's got to be the car up in front. And if he does that, the points leader is going to get his 3rd win of the year.
Yeah, and I mean, he's hoping for that yellow, Wesley. And listen, me being a broadcaster and obviously you as well, I'm realistic, but I like to give that hope. I think we're going to have a yellow, but I hope not, man. I want to see if anybody can challenge the 46 for the win.
Yes.
And I mean, and if there's anybody who I think is going to get loose and possibly cause a yellow, honestly, I hate to say it, it's Devin West, man. He's been struggling these last 2 restarts on those 2 tires, and so has Brightsman. Brights has just been doing a way better job at handling the cold tires with the imbalance of the heat cycles. But, I mean, this is going to be a huge restart right here. Hopefully, we can have a good finish. And I guarantee you, Sean Brightsman, he's prepping to see this race go green if it does.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the pace car veers onto the pit lane. It scampers from the field. Overtime number 3. Ready for the restart. Another flawless restart as Sean Brightsman spins the tires. Ryan Gormley will get an opportunity to power to the outside. They'll be stride for stride, side by side into turn 1.
Side by side, West Brightsman get a little bit loose. They both save it, but here comes Ryan Gormley looking for his first Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Series win of the year. Side by side, down the back straightaway. Oh, and Brightsman's loose. That's going to open up the door big time for Gormley coming to the white flag. Brightsman's loose.
Oh, no.
They're side by side, wrecking across the line. White flag, 1 lap to go for Ryan Gormley.
This is it, white flag in the air. one more time around. This is it. They're crashing behind them, but it doesn't matter. Ryan Gormley pulling away from everybody as they're sideways again out of turn 2 and crashing on the back straightaway. Into 3. Brightsman got loose. He stayed to the bottom of the apron. Ryan Gormley, second Northwest win for the rookie and his first here in Charlotte for the Fixed Setup Series in a triple overtime. One for the ages, Jason Rockefeller. One for the ages we'll never forget. And they're still wrecking on the cool-down lap in 1.
Yeah, I'm currently writing it down right now in the history books as we speak. What a race. What a race. And here comes Devin West. Going to come up, congratulate the 22. Man, he didn't just congratulate him, man. He just adored him going into 3 right there. But, man, what a finish. Heartbreak for Sean Brightsman. Heartbreak for Devin West. But, hey, man, listen. All jokes aside, seriousness, if you're the 46 of Sean Brightsman, you were probably hoping and he was probably thinking, oh, man, they're going to wreck. They're going to wreck. But, man, when it comes down to these restarts, everybody is on their A game. They're fighting for every position. Right. Do not underestimate these restarts. And Sean Brightsman probably underestimated it just a little bit here tonight. And that's unfortunate what lost him the race probably because he thought there was going to be a yellow.
Oh, yeah.
And then obviously gets passed by Gormley off turn number 2 and into 4. And Gormley set sail, man. He set sail in the ocean blue, and he comes home tonight a victory winner here tonight in Charlotte.
Sean Brightsman spun the tires. He had a great restart, and then he spun the tires. And when he done that, that opened the door for Ryan Gormley to get that advantage to reel him in on the outside lane. And again, side by side, they were going to do-si-do off into the 24 degrees of banking. You saw what happened. Gormley was not going to back down. And honestly, Jason, I don't blame him. He had the run on the outside, and I think Gormley knew that, and that's why Brightsman was so loosey-goosey coming off of that corner. I think when he knew that happened, he had him.
Yeah, I think right coming off 2 and 2, when I think Ryan Gormley knew he was going to get side-by-side, obviously, and kind of get the, like, in a sense, from the tire standpoint of things, have that preferred line entering 3. I think Gormley knew he got it. Unfortunate heartbreak, though, for Sean Brightsman. And Devin West, again, man, second 2 weeks in a row, but that's going to be good in the points for him, regardless of how it ended up.
Great recovery, by the way, for Marcy, having his problems to battle back. By the way, in the caution in the first overtime, Toby Ritters rallies back, and he'll go to a top 10. Here's your unofficial results. Ryan Gormley, the winner over Devin West. Paul Newton will finish 3rd. Joshua Marcy, as we mentioned, 4th. Brett Johnson, probably the best finish of his iRacing career tonight, in 5th. Tyler King will finish 6th. Jeff Stabnow, hey, I'll take a top 10. He finishes 7th. Ryan Bloom, 8th. Frank Harris, Jason, Frank Harris, another top 10 for the legend. And again, Toby Ritters rallies back from his mishaps of overtime to finish in the top 10. Way to go, Clifford.
Yeah, way to go to all these guys. Top 20 here tonight. Chris White, early trouble early on, comes home 11th. Dan West Jr. maintains a 12th place run. Troy Daggett, 13th. There he is. Heartbreaker, man. Sean Brightsman, what could have been 14th tonight for him. Seth Frazier struggled all night long from the beginning of the race until the end. 15th tonight, though. Not coming home a lap down, so good job for Seth. I take that as a W. Russ Lumberg, crazy hair, you say, 16th tonight. And then you start to the lap down cars. Chris Kynes, 17th. Zach Thresh, 18th. Jay Ledbetter, tough night for him as well, 19th. And John Ottenbacher, after one of the best runs of his career here in the Northwest Racing Series, 20th tonight.
Rest of the rundown includes Stephen O'Hare, 21st. All these drivers multiple laps down. Gary Nichols, 22nd. Carl Burke, 23rd. Ron Hunter, Aaron Cooper, top 25. Chad Malik, and, of course, the pole car. Same on Monday. Kevin Smith. Something happens, leading, retiring from the race. 103 laps down. There was a total of 112 laps to make the distance in this race tonight after 3 overtimes. Here's one more look at the Virginia811.com. Call before you dig. Caution information summary. Bottom left of the screen, there it is. 6 cautions. The last 3 were the overtime cautions, or 2 were the overtime cautions, counting the one that led it to overtime. Caution laps 24 of 112, as we mentioned. Lead changes were 7. And that last one made it work for Ryan Gormley. Right there on that last lap with 2 to go to get the win. That's brought to you by Virginia811.com, reminding you to dig with care and call before you dig. Coming up, post-race wrap-up, we are going to grab a word with Gormley, West, Newton. Stick around. iRacing on LSRTV and CRN, the Community Radio Network. One for the ages. You got to love America's home for racing. You got to love Charlotte. By the way, Coca-Cola 600 next Sunday. You better be there. Welcome back to Charlotte and the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series did not disappoint. 3 overtime finishes to decide the winner. Ryan Gormley, second Northwest Racing Series win for the rookie this season. 1 for the trucks, 1 now for the Fixed Setup Series at Charlotte. We'll grab his thoughts in a moment, but first let's grab our top 3. Jason Rockefeller, I'm Wesley Outland, and we now will get the third place man, the driver, of course. Oh, my mind, what a race it was. And I'll tell you what, this race, crazy. I'm understanding, even listening to some of the conversation, that people were running out of fuel. Devin West, what's your side of it, man? Pretty crazy race. And I'm sorry, Paul Newton. Paul Newton, you finished third. Man, again, crazy race here, man. This race had any and everything, and I love the strategy at the end. Your take up being on the podium.
Yeah, I'm just glad to get through that one in one piece. Everything kind of fell into place right at the end. I was definitely one of the ones that was short on gas. I trusted the autofill, and the autofill doesn't account for 3 green, white checkers, so I was turning off the engine and coasting all the way through all of those cautions, and I had 0.1 when I crossed the line, so yeah, that was close.
Yeah, Paul, you guys I just want to say real quick, you guys did a fantastic job. You guys put on one heck of a race for us up here in the booth, and also everybody at home watching and listening on CRN. Paul, obviously, you were second to Sean coming in to tonight's race in the points, only 25 points back. Obviously, he was leading pretty much at the last green, white checker attempt, came all the way back to 14th, and you come home third. How is this going to shape up the points heading in next week to Gateway for you?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to Gateway. I'm kind of sad to see we had the rain delay that one a week, so I think if I'm going to have a chance at a win at an oval this year, Gateway is high on my list, so definitely have that race circled and can't wait to see what happens.
Paul, segue this into thanking your sponsors as well, but man, I tell you, you are really adapting to these oval tracks, especially being somebody that kicks butt in the road courses. Your take on the season so far?
Yeah, it's been great. I've got really good support from my teammates at Beaver State Racing. They're teaching me how to do this. They're among the best in the business at it. And just so I want to thank my sponsors, PaulNewtonDesign.com, Trading Paints, Peels California Mandarins, and I want to thank the Northwest Racing Series, LSRTV, and CLICKIT RV.
Well, there's the thoughts again of Paul Newton, the 27. He will finish in the number 3 position. By the way, Paul Newton is, he's going to still be second in the points, and he's cut that interval back to 17 on Sean Breitzman. We'll go over the points before we jump off the air here. Devin West. Devin, man, oh, man. If you could go back and do it over, would you have took 4 tires in the overtime caution, when the caution came out to cause the overtime finish, and your take of just trying to save that race car, not just in the race at the end, but several times throughout the night. It seemed like you and your dad were loose and y'all saved these cars. Good job for second.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Obviously, hindsight's 2020. Take 4 tires would be the move. Problem is, you take 4 and the rest takes 2, and now you're starting, 5th. And unfortunately, if you don't get more than 1 green flag or one overtime, you just can't win from 5th or 4th. And so I think me and Sean both made a decision to put ourselves in position to win, have a chance at winning. Obviously, that didn't pan out, but that's just how it goes. Obviously, would have liked to just seen no cautions and gone green at the end. I think me and Sean would put on a good show there. It was something fun running down. And yeah, top 4 for LSRTV tonight would have been great. And so obviously these cautions are a pretty big bummer.
Yeah, Devin, you did a really good job tonight, man. 2 weeks in a row, 2 second-place finishes. Wesley just gave the update to Paul, obviously, with his points. Currently looking at the point standings that just got updated. You currently jump from what was 13th, you jump up to 11th, man. So in the point standings, obviously 12 guys make the playoffs. How do you continue this momentum now, these next 5 races, to make sure that you stay in the playoffs and be able to contend for a title?
Just keep running fast. And I feel like I've had quite a bit of speed the last month or so on both series, trucking and B-car. I just keep that going, man. That's all it takes. You put yourself in these positions enough times, so keep getting wins. Obviously, I feel like I've been in this position many times, and I feel like I've come out on the short end of the stick or in second more times I've won, and that kind of sucks. But we're winning races, and that's what matters. Unfortunately, I feel like as the league goes, there are a lot of guys, and I'm sure a lot of guys will say, myself included in that, I need to drive smarter and just be better, pretty much. So, last Monday was, quite frankly, embarrassing, and tonight, was a step in the right direction. But hopefully, going forward, a little more give. So.
Yep, I like that little more give and less take, if you will. I think that it needs to be whenever it's the right time to do the giving and taking, I would say. Do you think that, obviously, segue this and I thank your sponsors, Devin, but do you think the powers that be might need to have another special drivers meeting and maybe, I wouldn't say reprimand everybody for kind of the rough driving we saw tonight or even saw Monday night, but definitely just try to see if we can simmer things down a little bit?
I don't think so. I quite frankly, Wesley, I think everybody out here knows what it means to be a good driver and to treat people fairly and drive with respect. So you get driven with respect. So I think if you have a drivers meeting, you're not telling anybody anything new, nothing they don't already know. I think it's just 2 ends of a stick, and some guys are getting the good end, and that's probably not going to be the case every single week, and I think things will balance out. But I don't know. That's just how things go. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't pay people back because that's not fair. You don't want to get driven like that, so don't drive like that. But sure. Yeah, I think going forward, I think we all just need to, as a group, like I said, I put myself in that group also. We just got to be nicer to everybody. We're all here to have fun. We all have long days, show up to these things, and nobody likes finishing having a bad race. And it really sucks when it's out of your hands and you get forced in a bad race. So I just hope that everybody just has more respect. That's all I want. And then sponsors, obviously. You guys in the booth, you guys are awesome at your job. Like I said, I'll go back and watch all these races. Jeff, Sean, John, Brett, Dad, those guys are just much reason why I show up and do these things. And obviously putting in the league is awesome. Everybody in the league, I enjoy having everybody out here. I know I just talked about how we need a little more respect, but everybody out here is a lot of talent, a ton of talent, I should say. And I enjoy racing on these guys. And then obviously my sponsors, Factory Road Solutions, and Kinesis from Hardwood, and Motorsports Shipping.
There's the thoughts again of Devin West, and the driver, the number 5, 2 wins on the year, and as Jason said, he's climbed into the top 12. Top 12 will advance into the points. So now we go down to the victory lane, and we'll talk to the driver of the number 22. He won the Northwest Trucks. Now he wins in the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. Driver of the number 22, Ryan Gormley. Congratulations to you, bud. First win, 2 wins this year in your rookie season. You're on fire, man. You got to be loving this. This race wasn't easy, was it? Your take of being in victory lane?
No, it was not easy. These guys out here are tough, and there's a lot of these guys are pretty good at saving their tires, and I think I'm pretty good at getting the most out of the short run, out of the car. So, luck fell on my side again, and I don't mind stealing one like this.
Brian, you did a great job tonight, man. Congratulations. I saw the 4 tire stop, obviously. We talked to Devin and Paul as well with the tire strategy calls there at the end. Were you kind of jumping for joy when you saw that the leaders took 2 tires and the rest of you guys all took 4 right there?
Oh yeah, I mean, I needed all the grip I could get.
Ryan, let's go back to the restart there on that 3rd attempt. When you saw Sean Brightsman spin the tires and you were able to balance back on the outside to battle him stride for stride, nose to nose, into the corner into 1, did you feel like you had the race won?
Yeah, I think I had a little voice in my head. I think it was Harry Hyde saying, it'll stick.
Go to the outside, you can't hold it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I checked it, and I dang near held it full throttle through 1-2. So it was very fortunate. So.
Man, final question and segue this into your sponsors. What does it mean for you to get now 2 wins on the Northwest Series in your rookie year, winner in the trucks, and then of course now win tonight at Charlotte? Which win means more?
Well, I don't know. I like having these even cars. It brings out the talent, and not so relying on the setup so much. And I'm not the best with setups. I mean, Monday night, prime example, but I think it just puts all the skill in the driver's hands. So it feels good for this win, and it feels pretty good.
Sponsor.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys up in the booth, LSRTV, Wrestler Motors. That's where I work, so if you need a new or pre-owned vehicle, I'd be happy to help there. And CLICKIT RV, those guys are awesome, and we wouldn't be here without them. And just like to thank my girlfriend Haley and my parents for watching.
There you go, Ryan Gormley, his 2nd Northwest win this year, his 1st in the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series. And Ryan Gormley, with this win, has also now moved into the top 5 of the points. By the way, top 10 of the points moving into next week for Worldwide Technology are now separated by only 112 points. Sean Brightsman, 17 back. Paul Newton, 53 back. Tyler King, Stephen O'Hare, Ryan Gormley, as we mentioned, the Charlotte winner tonight. Christopher White, Ryan Bloom, Brett Johnson, John Ottenbacher, Frank Harris, your top 10. Jason, man, take a Charlotte. Fun night, fun times. This race did not disappoint. Triple overtime. The points have just totally gone cattywampus again. And obviously, Sean Brightsman does what he needs to do to stay in the points lead.
Yeah, and I mean, what a night it was, not only for Ryan Gormley, but a lot of guys here tonight. Brett Johnson, Tyler King coming back, Frank Harris, Toby Ritters. So many guys had their ups and downs here tonight. I think the biggest loser here tonight is probably Sean Brightsman, thinking to himself, probably beating himself up, saying, man, gosh darn it, dag nabbit, I should have taken 4 tires there on that last pit stop. I think Devin probably thinking the same thing. You heard the frustration, you heard the disappointment in his voice. He was down. Sure enough, though, I think Devin's probably going to be getting another win here pretty soon. Both him and Sean have been 2 class acts this entire season. Devin, obviously, being the young gun, he's out here. He's hungry. He wants wins. He wants to show these Northwest boys and his father, Dan West Jr., what it takes to be a champion, what it takes to be a winner. And I think next week for Gateway, it's going to be awesome as well.
A fun one for sure. This race did not disappoint here tonight in Charlotte. And again, Ryan Gormley getting the win. It's on to obviously Charlotte next Monday night, next Wednesday night for our series, Worldwide Technology Raceway, to make up the race schedule from this past week. For Rocket Racing Media, Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, Jason Rockefeller, I'm Wes.